has the skill, they just are very inconsistent, and so I don't know which Execration is going to
That's
show
the thing,
up.
yeah. It's inconsistency. I think both teams are fairly similar when they're on their A game. It's just that I don't know if Execration is on their A game. So, well, we'll see how the game pans out. I do agree with you though. Execration, when they're taking towers, it's because they have a fat void and have a fat Queen of Pain. If their early games don't go well enough, then well, nobody's gonna be fat and they're gonna be struggling.
All right, apologies folks. Up here, so just
Come on, LD, get it together.
I'm trying, Lumi. Don't stress me.
J4 and Lumik. Ooh, great fissure block coming across the river. The shard's gonna come through as well. They do not have an Orb of Venom here, but the right clicks, especially with the boots first, and now they're gonna block him a little bit. J4 will be giving the first blood, and the 5 position, or rather the 4 position captain for the team picks it up.
Yeah, they wanted to set up shop around the bounty rune, but Execration, a pretty fearsome level 1 squad, just with the Tusk and the Earthshaker. The rest maybe not that good at level 1, but those two alone provide you so much control and options that easy for them to take that little skirmish.
I think Hellraiser now sees like 4 heroes on the bottom. They could send a Clockwork up top and just secure the rune here and take it away from the Void. So even though they give up the first blood, I do believe the rune result should be still 2-2. So walking towards it, trying to get the rune, but okay, Casset's gonna come through. It's gonna be a bouncing bounce, and now he jumps back out, but they're gonna chase him down. The Orb of Venom is available on Milan. They're gonna hit him a couple of times. Cogs available to trap Nando back in. He's gonna hit the Cogs a little bit, trying to bounce himself out.
With that poor man's shield, he is very tanky. Just easily sustains the damage. There was also a skirmish happening bottom simultaneously, and Nando just tickled by it all. We'll have to heal up, use some tankos. Of course, not going to be that much fun as a Void having to last hit in a lane against Clockwork. Cogs will constantly be chafing you. So it is going to be 2-1-2 setups for Execration. And it looks like the Earth Spirit of Milan is going to be doing a bit of roaming here early on.
Earth Spirit roam, for a while, I don't think have been too successful in terms of converting in the past. I think the last patch has really slowed them down as a hero.
What in particular do you think slowed them down?
I think people just got better playing against them, and also the heroes that are picked are also more resistant to those type of ganks. For example, Queen of Pain here, you see a row coming in, doesn't care. It's until Earth Spirit gets to level 2, and he generally has trouble finding the level 2. Kaiser with a shard not coming in, but still a sizable amount of harass.
James is going to have to blink away across the ravine. Salve up, so good old 2v2 here in the mid lane. Already DK 7-0. Hero CS is like a... When's the last time you've seen a DK lose his lane, Lumi?
I don't remember.
Even Gods won his lane.
Oh, Gods is, I don't know, the Australian dragon, so.
It's that the Straya dragon.
Yeah.
I've seen this pirate wish up. Yar, BD. What's your favorite pirate line, Rumi? Are you big on pirate lore?
not very good.
Shiver me timbers. That's a good one. I don't
I'm
even know what it means. It sounds cool.
Bottom lane here, we're gonna see a couple of nukes flying out. Swift ending not letting loose at the Decrep. Might have actually connected it into another blast. Whenever I see pirate, like modern day pirates, I kind of just forget that it's not about the wooden legs and eye patch. Like, they just bore your plane and then they mess you up. The modern pirates, you know?
Yeah, modern pirates are not as cool as pirates. I think, you know, I don't think people really like the idea of the actual, like, pirate. We'll see 3-3 diving RR,
Yep.
getting that kill, but it's going to beat the Void his life away. Probably not hugely worth.
I think it's okay. Like, yeah, sure, you give Void the solo kill, but let's not forget that he's going to get farm regardless. The fact that you get solo kill experience on a support propels you so much faster to level 6. And for offlane Clockwork, all you care about is that level 6.
True. He is relatively close here with Nando.
Yeah.
So the numbers certainly backing you up there.
I think for like a farming offlane, let's say your LC or, I don't know, let's say Doom that we saw from a couple of teams picking up, maybe not worth a trade, but for a hero that's more caring about levels, I think it's definitely okay.
So, see Kaiser having a great start here in mid, and the Pugna having a fantastic start for Swift Denny bottom. So basically, the siege engines for Hellraisers, and they've got 2 of them, are off to the races, which would suggest that Execration are going to be facing some very early tower pressure. I guess that kind of segues nicely into this question, Lumi, of overall thoughts on the 2 lineups and what their respective goals are as we hit the 4-minute mark.
You kind of mentioned what Hellraiser wants to do, right? They have a very early kind of pushing style lineup. They want to be fast. They want to get towers early. Now, for Execration, they repel them with a Chronosphere and get kills off of it. So it really comes down to Nando and how he uses the Chrono. If he let's like one riff and they don't get a kill or 2 and they lose 2 towers off of that, they're going to be really far behind.
Oh, good outplay there by Execration. Fantastic shards coming in from Chemo. And this was what we saw yesterday that was lacking for Execration, was they weren't able to find those early kills. Chemo spent a lot of time moving, and he was often moving even with RR, and it was all very unsuccessful. So this is definitely different. I guess perhaps part of it was that there was a Bristleback mid, who's obviously
There was
very,
also a
very
Lich
tanky.
in those games. Queen of Pain comes in, great play from Milan, silent, stun, everything, but he just blinks away, and all of a sudden it's going to be the Tusk.
Don't tell me the Tusk gets out here too. He's going to try, but doesn't roll very far. Chemo, though, breathe fire, will shut him down.
Oh, Witch Doctor ports in as well. Yar! Go.
So that was the least enthusiastic pirate.
Look, I have no pirate training, so I...
Training? I don't have training. I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't think that qualifies either.
Well, at least you watch it. I haven't seen it.
You haven't even watched it.
I've heard the theme, the music theme. It's lit.
Another jump in here by James onto Kaiser as Dragon Knight continues to get bullied, pressured heavily, and the dual lane appears to be paying off as he's brought down once more. Late rotation from Milan, but unable to save his prized Dragon Knight. Goes down again.
I mean, you say that Dragon Knight rarely loses the lane, and to the degree, he's not, like, he's doing well in the CS department, right? But he's a full level behind the Queen of Pain now. And I think Queen of Pain hitting level 6 is going to be able to pressure the DK more with the rotations coming in. I think this one might be one of those rare games where DK will start to struggle.
Yeah, it's oftentimes you just see teams are content to trade farm.
Yep.
3-3 finds a solo
kill
on
the
Nando
Void.
on top.
I mean,
play.
I did say that 3-3 just carries from the off lane, but you just don't expect a clock to do this much. He's level 6, he's gonna shrine back up, he doesn't even have to go back to base, and all of a sudden, if you look at heroes like Witch Doctor, and even Shaker and Tusk, they could just die. Mid lane.
Committed dive for Kaiser, want to finish him off. Dragon Knight will end up going down. Now the Queen of Pain all committed. 3-3 comes in with the phase boot. The battery assault, the hook shot gets the kill. Huge plays. First the Void taken down on one side of the map, and now finding the Queen of Pain elsewhere. So 2 beefy cores deleted by 3-3's individual play.
Wow, that's just impressive.
Well, those are also 2 heroes that normally you're like, I don't really care about Clockwork. You know, just time walk out of the cogs, blink away, but times it right with the hook shot. Very patient. Also, this is probably your time to shine, while the time walk is only level 2 and the Queen of Pain blink only level 1. So those are long cooldowns for now.
We'll see. I'm gonna just follow 33. I just feel like he is gonna be the playmaker. The Hellraiser needs to extend their early game dominance.
Making a big commitment here for Raging Potato. They'll hit him with the Nether Blast, then getting him with the Life Drain. He just waltzes away. The rocket comes through, just barely missing. And the boulder also not going to connect, so Raging Potato, at least for now, making it out. Beware those follow-up boulders.
Unfortunately, only a level 1 rocket flare on 33, so he can't fire it across the map and ensure and kill. But
I mean, this is the preferred build as a Clockwork if you feel like you have any potential to do damage in your lane. Like, otherwise you go into the mid game and you're just a weak nuke. It is global, but it's also not that much damage. Whereas the battery assault, I mean, what is it when it's maxed? It's like 700 damage or something, right?
You're not supposed to be able to get off all that damage, because when you do, you're just killing pretty much anybody. 33 now rotating, trying to catch some people out. Void again, you have to somehow bait that jump. It's definitely tough.
Yeah, that's not a hero you can count on killing on your lonesome. I don't really think that's Hellraiser's goal, like to constantly gank or pressure the Void. It should be much more group up with the Dragon Knight, the Pugna, and just hit towers. So that is what they're trying to do here mid. But they don't have the best creep wave support. Second wave coming in. The Dragon form used relatively early here. And while that's happening, Raging Potato finds the solo kill on the bench, but Tier 1 now about to be under siege.
Top lane looks like 33 has started the party. Did force a jump, but does not hook after it. And like you said, in the mid lane, the siege begins. I think they're not looking to pressure any individual hero. Hellraisers just need to apply pressure as a whole. Whether it's beyond tower or whether it's invading the jungle. I like the fact that Hellraiser starts with the mid tower, because if you do open up this mid lane, allows Clockwork as well as your Venge and your Earth Spirits to actually roam into the jungle and find much more effective ganks.
33 has been sitting top. I expect he's going to move soon. Waits for RR near the
Nope, that's a
bounty rune.
freebie.
That should be a free takedown. Assault. Catch him from the hogs. See you later, RR. Another kill. Put him on a killing spree now. 33 having a fantastic start to this game.
He did get off the Maledict. Oh, I thought it was going to be enough to burn actually some infused raindrop charges. I guess only a very low level one.
Also didn't do very much damage either.
Yeah.
So yeah, HR, their first attempt to push, it's moderately effective. They get the tower down to about a third HP, but I wouldn't say it was super effective, especially considering, like, sometimes you see just a Pugna push alone is enough to take a tier 1.
Yep.
Let alone when you have the Pugna enemy.
Top lane hook, looks like it missed. The silence and the stun following through. I don't think I actually could get the kill on Nando. Nando jumps off all of the damage. His mana is being burned. Teleport scroll is available. He has one more jump.
And now it's a level 4 time walk, so you really need the chain stun if you want to bring him down. Ideally, Dragonite with a blink or Shadow Blade would be a good follow-up to that. Maybe the Venge stun, but HR, they did not quite bring the numbers. Will not be able to find the kill.
One thing that we haven't really mentioned is that, mid lane, are they going to go on the Queen or just defend the Dragonite? Either way, it looks like DK is going to get trapped in. Sonic Wave available, and we'll get let loose here. Kaiser, though, very, very tanky.
Oh, that damage from the Pugna almost instantly takes out Chemo. Indeed, will kill him off. Only his sigil there to mark his tomb.
You see these players are not really used to playing against Pugna. He tried to juke around the tree lines, which does absolutely nothing against a Life Drain. Life Drain tracks you through fog, through invisibility. His best play is to just walk as far away in a straight line away from the Life Drain, which he did not do. I think part of the reason why Pugna is doing so well in this tournament is just that it's just not a common pick.
Looks like a commitment here from Nando in the top lane. Drops the Chrono, wants to bring down Milan. Brings him low. Not able to finish him off yet, though. And oh, as he's about to roll away, catches him, gets that crucial bash, and secures the kill. Well, meanwhile, in the mid lane, HR's persistence will pay off. They take down the tier 1. The beauty for them is they might just be able to go for another tower now, as there is no Chrono to defend it. 3-3 finding the kill in RR. Now jumping in is Nando. But this Clockwork is extremely durable with the raindrops. Has the stick charge. Is finally going to go down. Meanwhile, it looks like Kaiser may have overstayed his welcome. Needs to back away. James is thinking about pursuit. Won't commit to it. But yeah, Lumi, there is no Chrono. And generally, if you're a Pugna Dragonite draft, that means dream opportunity to start pushing elsewhere. But Pugna low on mana and Dragonite about to lose his ultimate. So perhaps it's not the window it could have been.
Yeah, still a couple of blasts. They are going to wear it down. Looks like we're going to see a Veil of Discord coming out from Pugna. That's something we saw a lot out of the LGDs and LFYs, but makes a lot of sense. You do pick up a lot of armor, which is going to be decent against Nando.
All about that deep. So you've got Veil, you've got Aether Lens. You combine that with...
You got Light of Heaven.
Crepify. You've got Light of Heaven. You got some Shrines.
Well, you know what? We could do this too.
So let's get in on the action. What's up? What's happening at the Shrine?
It's 100% HP.
I actually just want him to like write a blog and explain what it is.
We should actually just walk up to him and ask him why you ping so many shrines.
It's just his like way of promoting himself. You know, it's now all the other communities.
He's casting a TI. He doesn't need any promotion. He's a TI champion. Does he need more promotion?
Some people, Lumi, they just crave the spotlight. Okay, Light of Heaven, you're still a great player.
Shackle shots. I still remember.
Execration is going for the trade here. They're going to try and take this mid tier 1. Trading glyph available. And they are clustering up top. Pugna marches in and Nando backs away. He does get hit by a stun here.
Oh!
Slam through the trees from Raging Potato and now going to be punished in a huge, huge way. Decrepified, blasted, deleted. The Void also on the run. The sounds come through. The Boulder Sesh almost connecting. Nando narrowly dodging death. That tower has fallen. Radiant tower in the mid lane. Meanwhile, is gonna go down.
Yeah.
No clip.
LD, that was so unfortunate for Execration. Jay had a blink dagger. He was sitting in the trees.
Oh my god, he did.
Yeah,
Well, it's only 13 minutes. That's a really fast blink.
He was gonna hit a 4-man echo slam, but Ven just like Terry, because he saw the void jumping in there. It's like, okay, let me give vision to my team, and he got him just the second that he was about to blink, and he just echoed the ground. My god, they were about to get absolutely dumpstered by Jay. That was so unlucky for them.
Would it have been enough to kill them? I guess
I think TP would have came in.
It is a max after
yeah.
dog, so yeah, maybe it is. Good swap here by J4. Oh, speaking of big plays, a 4-hero boulder smash, no big deal. Milan mowing them down. They've taken the tier 2. So HR now up to a 4-tower to 1 advantage, and likely to continue ramping up. Execration going to feel this map getting very, very claustrophobic in short order.
Yep. Very important for Nando just to pick up damage, just like raw damage, and be able to take advantage of the Chronos here. I love the fact that he's going for his Shadow Blade. I like to see something like Shadow Blade or Yasha into Diffuso, just anything that makes you pack a punch, because it's all about hitting that Chrono, pick off the Venge, pick off the Pugna, things like that. But something that we mentioned during the draft is that there's a lot of counters to the Chrono. The Crep, the Swap, just being tanky.
Boulder smash, hook shot even to, for some interruption. So definitely agree with you there. Execration are going to cluster up in the bottom lane. Well, it wasn't the brilliant blink debut they were hoping for. They do have another shot to set something up here. Good wards to cover that Radiant jungle. And surprisingly, Hellraiser's letting them just take this tower for free. Not even going to try to contest. Also not taking their own objectives. So, end of the day, it's not that big of a tower deficit for Execration. Only down 2, where it feels like it could be more.
Yeah, I'm surprised for the lack of defense as well, because when you're this kind of early kind of pushing team, you want to widen the gap of the tower difference. It doesn't matter if you're good at ticking tower, if you just give up just as many, right? Like, that's what it feels like.
Execration does have a big combo team fight, but at the same time, like, you have some really beefy tanks that you can throw in first, right? The Clockwork, the Dragon Knight. If you're really worried about it, one of them can soak up a lot of damage. You swap them out, but hold that thought. Here comes the Echo. Raging Potato catching out the Dragon Knight. Kaiser will go down now. J4 could be in trouble. They don't have the full squad here. He's going to take down the Maledict, and a Walrus Punch sends him into the atmosphere. Oh, no, coming through, but S33 hooks away. Get me out of here, baby, he says. Away to safety, and now Swift Ending coming in. They're going to turn this. Nando not only going to miss his easy kill, or so he thought, but now giving up his own life, and with the Pugna alive, probably the biggest damage dealer remaining in this fight. He could take over. RR getting punished for this. A pathetic totem attempted by Potato, but it will buy time for his comrade to get away, or at least so he hopes. Still on the chase. Swift Ending moving in. They get that decrepify. The blast comes through as well. Then backing off his creep. Did not get the life drain going. Lost the vision for a second, but now will reclaim it and scores the kill. Still moving forward onto James. Almost dead. Indeed to the magnetize. One more tick would do it. A little life drain. No, it's not available. Still on cooldown. The blast. James makes it out. Absolute madness here in the jungle, but it all really started to go awry when 3-3 got that beam me up Scotty hook shot to safety.
Yeah, and the critical thing is that Chrono was used, Execration did not win the team fight, and Hellraiser gets to move around the map and start taking down more towers. That tier 2 mid needs to be pressured.
I didn't actually realize if your hook has already hit something, it completes no matter what, even though the Chrono's already there. Is that how it works, or is it just the visual thing? Because the Chrono definitely was on top of him,
right,
before he left the space the bubble occupied.
I don't even know for sure. I gotta watch that play from multiple angles to make sure.
This is where you want the 20 different camera shots.
Yep.
A good way to start the day here, Lumi.
I know for sure that if you have a Chrono down and Clock hooks into it, the stun will hit even if the hero
stops, right?
The hero will stop at the edge. So it's just kind of weird. Not 100% sure how it works exactly.
Yeah, maybe that's only when you're hooking into it.
Yeah. Hooking out? I don't know.
Not sure. That was the first time I've ever seen a Chrono hit someone, and then it looks like they just got out anyway without, something like a swap or a punch hook. Woo! Alright, well, things are going to settle down a little bit now. At least hopefully. You did mention Nando got that Shadow Blade. James is working on his Orchid. pretty potent pickup against the likes of Earth Spirit, Pugna. Really no solutions as of yet for that Orchid, nor do they have the most natural builders of the said solutions. You know, no one who really wants to get a Manta style here.
Dragon Knight is working towards
BKB,
speaking.
I guess, for DK, but he's probably not the one you want to silence usually anyway.
It's their workaround was like swap defensively. You have
Maybe get a Yules on the Pugna.
Clockwork hooks in to make things hard. I'm very interested by the way that Hellraiser is building their items, right? You have a drums on Clockwork, which is not too crazy. And then you have Revenge also working into the drums. It seems like Hellraiser wants to finish this game and Silence comes in, but the hook as well as the stun misses. They pop the smoke, they pop the dust. They want Nando dead, but Nando just jumps away. He should be fine. I say that though, they're...
He's still got Chrono, and coming in as the Witch Doctor, they may actually try to take this fight momentarily. 3 there. Queen of Pain with the haste TPing in, or rather streaming towards lane, I should say, and the Earthshaker also about to join the party. So Hellraisers, if they want to take this fight head on, they're walking into a full 5-man squad, and as James closes the distance, that Pugna Ward is about to be brought down. They will isolate, probably finish off 3-3 here, trapped in the trees. Really poor position for a Clock to be in, and he gets turned into a pile of mechanical rubble. Another pick off for Execration. Hellraisers just a bit off the mark as far as the timing goes. They slightly missed the silence. Boulder Smash combination. They were just a little bit late with the Clockwork hitting the creeps and weren't able to lock them down. Like, they're just not quite hitting their spells to get that Void kill. And then they could have backed away, but they decided to chase.
And this is the second time that happened, right? They went for the Void and they miss out their combo. And Void is getting away with like not building any defensive item and surviving ganks. As a result, I think Hellraiser has missed their timing window. I don't want to say entirely, but I don't think they've done enough.
They traded towers for free, like without fighting,
right?
And weren't really taking extra towers at that point. They also have gone for mid-game items, like you said, and then they're not finding the kills. That's the third point. So that combination of things is, yeah, really changing the complexion of the game. And I agree with you that I think right now numerically it's a slight Execration gold advantage, but I think it's more strategically Hellraisers have geared up to dominate this first 25 minutes item-wise. Hero-wise,
and they're not dominating.
They're not dominating. They're actually losing slightly, which is losing by a lot because of the lineup and the way they've built.
Middle. We're going to see initiation from Lon. He's going to get blocked off on the left side. They get the 1 kill, and they're chasing for a little bit more. But on the backline, Swift Ending gives a Swift Ending to the Witch Doctor. He's just done.
He's going to go for Raging Potato here, too. Backup TPing in. Earthshaker could be in danger. Kaiser going to bring down Chemo. They've overplayed their hand. It looks like Execration need to get the hell out. They've lost already 3. Might lose Raging Potato. Oh, close call. If the battery assault was active by 3-3 when he walked into those trees, I think he also gets that 4th kill.
Well, a good fight, I guess, for Hellraiser. The one thing that Hellraiser needs to worry about moving forward is that because they grouped up to do those, remember the Pugna Dragon Knight push early on in the mid lane, is that their level gain is actually suffering heavily. That team fight just now really helped out. Gave them a little bit of a spike.
Just wanted to farm the wave here. Nando in trouble. Boulder Smash, nukes for the Pugna. Perfect cog to the pushback. Nets them another kill. It looked like he wanted to go for a solo kill on the Pugna. He Shadow Bladed in, was kind of camping outside the tower. And then he's like, I'm already here. I'll just go hit creeps. But there were 4 heroes off the map. At least, maybe 5, and he does get punished for it. Good time.
Well, this is going to be the last spike that I think Hellraiser has in terms of their lineup being strong. BKB as well as Aghanim Scepter picked up on their 2 respective cores. Got to make something of it. Take a tier 2, maybe think about Roshan, because the game is not going to go any better the way that Execration's hero is going to start scaling.
Now, it's, of course, a scary time to go for this push, as they do not have an Aegis, and they're walking into all of Execration's ultimates. Ideally, you want to spread here, at least ensure that there are multiple key heroes caught in that Chrono. They are afraid. We've already got 1 Light of Heaven, so there's not room for another.
Everyone wants to be the Light of Heaven.
This is the one area where Hellraisers, I guess, are not the best. Like, they're great at taking towers. They're not amazing at taking Roshan. So, perhaps with the Venge, Dragon Knight with an armlet, it's okay, but it's not fast enough to just like confidently go at it in one.
Jump, Chrono.
Overcommit here on this Clockwork. They're going to silence it. Snowball coming in, and they will drop the Chrono as well. The Conk's pushing Nando back, but he's a cheeky little bugger, and he'll just time walk his way back in, get the kill.
Yeah, even though that teleport scroll had no chance of completing, by him TPing out, Nando was forced to use the chrono. So pretty good trade in that regards, but
I think it's a really good trade. Now you actually can think about a heavy push.
yeah,
Go for the tier 2.
Dragon Knight's already on the case.
It's not like Clockwork's item progression is likely to have a big impact on the outcome of this game. So.
He's got a Yules. It's actually, I don't think I've ever seen that before, but makes sense, right? You're up against an Orchid.
Yules to set up your cogs.
Yeah, sure. You can even Yules to, you know, dodge chrono if you time it right.
Ragey Potato does get forced away, and this tier 2 at long last gonna fall. Honestly, I thought this would have fallen about 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
And Hellraisers just never wanted to commit. And now, like, that tower dropping is nice, but it just feels a bit late for what their lineup wants to achieve. So I think they're at a critical juncture here, Lumi. Do they try to reassess and take this later, or do they just all in on this next 10 minutes with items and gameplay and try to end the game?
I don't think they could take it later, simply because of the items that they went for. Like, if you're trying to go late as Venge, you pick up, you know, a medallion that helps you do Roche and get objectives. You pick up, let's say, a Midas on the Clockwork and scale into your late talents and stuff like that. They haven't done that, and they're pretty much all in and try to win the game fast. Also, to kind of augment your points about taking that tier 2 10 minutes earlier, I think the Pugna games that we've been casting, the game's already over by this point, right? Super has finished the game already.
Even if it's not actually done, like, all the lanes are pushed in, they have full control, they've probably taken a lane of frag.
Right.
That is certainly not the case here for Hellraiser.
Like, this game is just beginning for Hellraiser, unfortunately. Because it looks like it's going to be Execration taking over the tempo of the game.
Yeah, they will finally go back for the Roshan, 26 minutes in. Seeing a few heroes bottom, the Earthshaker, I believe, a moment ago they also saw the top, and they will commit to this Roche. They do have the 1 point away from there, the forward Vengeance Zara, and they can give him the life drain, which is actually doing a decent job of bringing the old rock down. So Hellraisers will collect their Aegis, it looks like, unless something crazy happens. Chemo marches in, but doesn't look like he'll get there in time. 3 is ready. It's a Vanguard to try and ensure this Roche goes through completion, and indeed it will. So an Aegis claim by the Pugna. Now they jump forward, they look for more, they're going to catch out Nando and silence him. Now try to control him, swap him back, but he time walks away into the cogs, though. That might spell his doom.
Okay.
It will. The Dragon Tail gets him down.
Go, go,
He's
go.
got the buyback, and he may have no choice but to use it.
Base.
This is a Pugna Dragon Knight lineup. If you don't buy back, they are likely taking a full lane of racks here. 40 seconds on the sideline. The glyph will come out. They're probably going to need about 30 to bring this tower and the melee down, would be my guess, if they commit, but they get scared. The Void buys back, and they will retreat. One more kill on that Void, and that could be not only 1, maybe 2 lanes of it.
Yep. Shrines are not open yet, but they will take a stack. I guess if you're Hellraisers, you wait for the Dragon Knight ultimate on to be back up again, and you just go for a decisive smoke. Maybe even just smoke right now. Forget about the Dragon Knight ult. Doesn't need it if the Void's dead. A lot of things went wrong for Nando, though, in that particular engagement. All the chains went just right for Hellraiser. He even jumped into the cog for the icing on the cake.
I think that does showcase, though, that, like, we're past the point where you can just run it around in Shadowblade and expect to ambush Hellraisers. You know, like, you have to let someone else initiate, or start it with the time walk, or wait until the fight's already started and then counter initiate. Like, you can't just run in with Shadowblade against a TI caliber team when they know you've had a Shadowblade for almost 10-15 minutes and expect to get away with it.
Yep.
So,
I think that
gotta respect your opponents.
The person that can run in soonish is the Earthshaker. He's finishing a BKB. Like, it's actually one of the tankiest items you could get at this point in the game against this lineup, so Execration looking for a pickoff.
It's also important just to ensure that, like, you don't just get destroyed by Clockwork in the fights, right? Him and the Earthshaker. Between the two of them, there's just so much sustained control that you're just likely getting chain stuff by batteries off the silence. And as I say that, well, he does get hooked out here, doesn't have that BKB yet, and will be punished once again, only reinforcing his desire to get it ASAP. Another death. Even
though he died there, I really like what they're doing. They're just putting the pressure on Hellraiser. Hellraiser's supposed to be the one that's ending the game right now, but instead they're getting picked off all over the place. You know, casting Enchant Totem, blinking in to hit the tier 3. That tier 3 is actually lower, I believe. Then they're about the same, both tier 3s. And if Execration could sneak a tier 3, I think the complexion of this game changes.
But Hellraisers can regroup now potentially as Kaiser moves in bottom. Nando, oh, almost revealed himself. There wasn't any follow-up, so I'm not sure Kaiser can solo kill him, but he may chase for this. He's going to blink forward. Tries to wrangle that Void, who does have another time walk, gets away to safety. Team looking to cut him off if Kaiser can find him. Oh, doesn't guess right. He did use his Dragon form, so that's down again.
Yep.
Next one, though, is going to be the Mighty Frost Dragon.
Ooh, Execration wants to defend this tier 2. They're going to smoke up. Oh, they double smoke even.
It's a perfect time to do it, Lumi. There's no Frost Dragon. There's no Dragon form at all. That is a big missing tool here in the upcoming fight.
I wonder if Hellraiser expects it. There is no vision now. Ward gets dropped down. Sentry gets dropped down. They see the DK in the front. They don't want to go on him. He's got Armlet BKB. He is a tanky man. On the right side.
They're going to reveal their Pugna to start things off, but he does have the Aegis. Got to keep a good spread here. They know that there's so much AoE on Execration as they try to pull the Pugna in, force him out of position. Not going to happen. It was a good effort by Potato. He almost gets caught retreating. 3-3, fishing with the hook. But it won't hit Pater. Nando now sweeps around, but again, you can't just run it with Shadow Blade and expect to get an easy ambush. There are sentry wards littering this area. Somehow, though, he has snuck all the way around. He's taking the long journey, and now he drops the Chrono, and then walking back into it is Milan that sets up the 2-hero Queen of Pain ult. Should be 2 supports down to start the fight. Maybe more with Chemo coming in from the side. 1 Swift ending. J4's dead. Make it 3 down with the Aegis falling. Now it's going to be 4 as they get completely slaughtered. Only the blue golden dragon stands along with Swift ending. On round 2, can the cores bring it back? They kill off the Tusk. Now they turn for the Queen of Pain. Down for a minute. They do salvage it with a buyback from the Air Spirit, rejoining the fight as quickly as possible, and RR has to waltz away. Now, when all of that is done, Lumi, the big payload has now been expended aside from the Echo Slam, so if HR want to buyback, force the next fight, they won't have to worry about that Wombo combo.
Nando is creep skipping. He wants to actually draw a couple people back. Milan is looking for this kill.
Gotta be careful. You could easily be solo killed by a Void, especially with that Diffusal Blade. Bashing, controlling, tries to drop the stone, but in comes the Pugna with the quick save, a little medical assist, and now the jump away. Nando, will he get stunned? Can Kaiser get a range? Oh, so close.
I actually think that he didn't need to blink that close because of the range Dragon Tail, but, well, Nando makes it out. That was a huge fight for Execration. Into the Aegis. It was just unfortunate that Pugna had the Aegis. He was alive, and then he pushed down that tier 2. But the way that the first initiation did not come cleanly, they tried to force staff the Pugna in, and it didn't work. I was like, oh my god, Execration was gonna.
Jay was trying to do a little Ferrari 430 fan service there with the offensive force stabs, but way work out as Potato jumps in. Oh, it's into the waiting arms of Pain. He does have the BKB, and now he's gonna turn. Echo, Totem, let off your hate on that squishy little shamble of bones, and they will get the kill. Now J4 could be next. He swapped for the save, and now it's not 1, but 2 going down as they look for more. Who needs Chronosphere? Who needs Queen of Pain? Oh, certainly not Execration.
Okay.
They're looking for the 3rd. Milan coming in late, gets off a great Magnetize, but doesn't have the follow-up damage to secure any kills. So a series of chain feeds for Hellraiser while this game back, and that's without the ults being used aside from Echo. So come next fight, the whole combo is going to be online.
Yeah, Execration says the next fight is right now. They're paying out the bottom tier 3. They know it's low from the previous engagements that they've been doing there.
And they would love to get that a tier 3 down, try and get some shrine control.
They might get the Rex. It's
but
like you said, they have all their ults available.
They're so slow at taking objectives, though. I feel like they need a couple more kills to do that.
Well, Kaiser is found right now. He might be that one important kill. They dropped the Chrono for the Dragonite.
Didn't get off his BKB, so he's taking maximum damage here in this Chronosphere.
Oh my god.
Walrus Punch, chain stunned for days.
Dude, he started the snowball when the Chrono was stilled up, timed it perfectly as the Chrono dropped, the snowball hits. My goodness, the surgical extraction right there.
And no buyback on the Dragonite. That's even bigger than the other heroes being dead earlier. They all would have respawned in time, but now Execration can take this tier 2. The game slipping a bit. Hellraiser's grasp is definitely loosening, and they can ill afford for that. This is Only their second match of the group stage, but still, this is the type of team that you want to beat if you want to make a deep run here at TI. Someone who came in as a qualifier. Good opportunity, though, as Milan hits the 2-hero boulder smash. Combine it with the hook shot. The follow-ups there from Swift Ending. It's Execration's turn to overextend. They lose 2 after the Dragon Knight kill. And now Hellraisers march back the other way. And bear in mind, there's no buyback on Tusk. I mean, these teams don't necessarily realize that all of these buybacks are unavailable, so they may not go for high ground, but I think just looking at Hellraiser's lineup, these are the type of heroes that anytime they see someone dead, they're like, well, yeah, let's go push. Let's go try and take a Rax.
Okay, Rocket Flare will find Raging Potato here. He does have a Force Staff available. How good is the Clock Hook? Not even available, so he's not going to go for it. And now, are we going to see some Power Blast?
That'd be pretty dope. If it's so good, you could just use it when it's on cooldown.
Swift Ending walks up, start blasting away. Nothing that you could really do about it.
Just another day in the mines. And by the way, does have a BKB now. We didn't really talk about it much, but this item will certainly help him against the Void as they go now. Bet some Force Step, Raging Potato going for the big plays. The swap save, though, is there. Now Swift Ending trying to turn things around. He does have the life drain, but he needs a good target to lock onto. The Frost Dragon with a BKB. Golden Pain raining down, and Execration put on their heels. They do have a buyback on their Void. They'll have to use it now. Commitment from them, but they don't have the full combo to go with it. The Dragon Knight's still full HP. He is very difficult to burst. They're going to try for the chase here. Swift Ending also surviving. They really want to get something out of this Void buyback. Triple buyback overall. The Chrono whips! Oh my god. Nando, a little too cheeky for his own good, perhaps, and now Kaiser's going to get back in, pummeling James, trying to bring him down. The stuns are there, keeping them controlled as a nice cast comes through from the backside, but Kaiser just leaps forward, and with one blink, a fell swoop takes down the Quap. The Dragon's too strong. He finally will fall here, surrounded by 4, but it took forever and a day. He does have the buyback 3-3, perhaps next on the list. Purged, controlled, likely to drop as well. Make it 4. They don't need the Chrono, as it turns out.
Yeah, and they have a Shrine right there to juice right back up. They could go for the Roche if they want, or they could just push lanes and go for high ground. I think Roshan is a much safer choice, especially with all of these buybacks starting to be expended. Man, this game is just all over the place.
This is a game of, this is definitely a game of ping pong right now.
For sure. That Force Staff by Jay, though. I mean, Pugna did have the BKB. He could have easily used the BKB to basically not get changed, not get orchided, but for the lack of better terms, I think Pugna was just shook. Like, he just did not expect that kind of initiation. The Fissure blocked the ramp into a Force Staff in. Milan trying to delay this Roche, but I think ultimately it will go to Execration.
Yeah, gif it, clip it, mom get the camera. That was that kind of moment as Milan moves into the Roshan pit.
Wait,
here.
Is he gonna
trying
get
to
it?
contest? He might be a little too early though. Magnetize comes out. Decent damage done, but not enough. Roshan will go the way of Execration. Age is snagged as well. Probably a worthwhile risk just rolling the dice. You only support our Shaker or our Spirit. A lot of your teammates are dead anyway. Yep. You come up clutch there, and suddenly the game is completely changed. You die, you give them a small amount of gold.
Yeah. It's a so what moment. I'm big with you.
I definitely think that's the type of play. It's like, oh yeah, he's feeding, but it's very much worth the risk, even if it is that 2% chance that you steal the Aegis. Whew. So they do get an Assault Cuirass here on Kaiser, and as for Pugna, his item progression is pretty much halted. As far as Execration goes, James picked up the Lincoln's BKB, so he's gone purely defensive. Have to imagine some bigger damage items are coming next, like a complete Bloodthorn perhaps. The Void's item progression has also been fairly non-existent, Lumi.
Yeah,
he's still not completed the BKB with that buyback earlier.
He's been dying a lot. He's buying back, like you mentioned.
Everyone's relatively poor in this game, I feel.
There's been like 5 or 6 buybacks at the very least. But the BKB is finished. Nando, because he has the Aegis, don't have to worry about buyback. In fact, the buyback is still on cooldown for a long while. So, there you go. He is now a big force. Because I don't think they could kill Nando anymore, unless they changed on him 100 to death.
And Execration have a lot of ways to interrupt that, right? With the Shaker, the Tusk
Snowball,
save, the Cask even.
There
like
is
last fight, the Cask was big, but
damage here
comes Nando. Oh, he would have loved that DD rune. Under cover of Shadowblade, he time walks in, but he only finds the Venge. He then goes the other way. Actually gets 2 on the boundary of the Chrono. Beautiful catch and no Venge in position to save them. She ran the wrong way, tried to Delta split. And now it ends up being a very ugly situation, but Kaiser is here. He's big, he's pretty bad, but they should be able to chain dash and control him. Should be, I say. Gets off 2 auto attacks, brings James down by about half HP. Still standing this ground. Man, if he just had one ally providing any sort of control during this time, I think he'd be taking 3 or 4 with him.
Yeah, Milan had a 4-man silence. I thought he was going to let loose that Magnetize. Now he drops it, but it's not going to be enough. He tries to escape. He will get hunted down, and that's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange by the end of the day. Huge Chronosphere by Nando. I thought he was going to miss it completely, but...
First it looked like he was only going to get the Venge, then it looked like he was going to miss it completely.
And then he got 2.
And then he got 2, and the Venge got caught by the shards of Chemo, which kept her away. She pathed to the right. To the east rather than just being able to head directly towards the Chrono for the swap. And that ultimately meant that it was a very successful 2-hero pickoff to start the fight.
Yeah. Execration will get the first lane of Rax. Respawn time. Not going to help out here. 40 seconds for Dragon Knight. And that's more than enough time for Execration to get out after the Raxes.
Fights are just a lot easier to execute now for Execration with the BKB on the Void, the Aegis, the Cheese.
Yep.
I think just generally better and more reliable late game initiation as well. Like, it's not single target stuff, it's huge AoE combos, also the Shaker. Any of these heroes can start the fight, set up a Chrono, an Echo, and if you get 2 with the Chrono, it doesn't matter if there's a swap, you're at least getting a kill. If you get the Venge, then you're guaranteed getting that kill. So, just feels much easier for them to find kills and then transition into objectives, whereas for Hellraisers, it's got to be close to flawless moving forward.
Yeah. To me, you know, like, both people are going into a gunfight. Execration are bringing out, you know, the big guns.
One of them has 1 bullet in a BB gun, and Execration has, yeah, the
automatic
bazooka and the Gatling gun ready to go.
So, to me, this is more like the strategy. I don't want to pin it down to the draft. It's just that Hellraiser had a very strong early to mid-game lineup, and they just could not catch the timing. Execration survived it, and now they are flexing the muscle. Like you said, though, Hellraiser is still capable of winning this game, but it has to be, you know, some of the best Dota they've played in their lives to have a shot.
Yeah, I still think DK is probably the single biggest hitter in the game. It's just that most of these fights he's been chain bashed.
Is he though? He had a double damage rune that last fight, and he had a BKB going, and it didn't feel like...
I mean, I definitely think he's doing more damage than a Void with the Shadow Blade as his ult. Like, maybe on a single target, the Void's a little more annoying, but it's just like, I just don't see the Dragon Knight getting to hit very much.
Well, I think what we're both saying is that neither of these heroes are hitting very hard because they're both relatively poor. Man, the observers today are just... Alright, okay, we'll ping some shrines.
Let's make sure that we do a little shrining of our own. Shrine up, boys.
Nice.
Honestly, pretty sure. Hopefully someone from Valve is watching and just disables that.
Whether we ping shrines?
Well, that you can see what the other other broadcasters pay. If they want to ping shrines for their own stream, that's their business. But get the hell out of our stream. Could be an opportunity, though. Looking for Raging Potato. They do get the jump here. Blinking in the Dragon Knight almost takes him 100-0, but the Glimmer Cape comes through. Is going to save the day. They didn't have the detection to deal with Raging Potato. Now they try to focus him. He just wildly is going to get pushed around to the north. I think probably still goes down. Somehow stays alive. They've caged this Dragon. Controlled it beautifully. Great swap out, though. The hook interruption takes the Witch Doctor down. Kaiser barely alive. He maybe could go for an Omelet Tongle. No, he's dead. And with the death of the Dragon Knight, the fight gets very hard from here. Nando, though, being controlled, being silenced, being stunned, dusted up. They get him anyway. He's down for 100. The Echo comes through, takes down the Skeleton Man. Execration trying to salvage this fight, but if they know that Void is unavailable, they can really look for the punish here. James is at the extra support pillar at this moment, though, as he jumps forward, finds a double kill of his own, salvaging the fight. They're lacking the damage now. Unless that Pugna wants to buy back, they might lose their whole team again. So close.
The Shaker is still alive. Pugna 33 comes in, heroic play, gets the 1 kill, looking for a second. Yule Scepter picks him up. Does he have cogs? No, he doesn't. And now Raging Potato trying to run out there with the BOTs will not get it.
It's his turn to get a triple kill. He wants Chemo as well. Out comes the Sigil.
Hasterun!
Oh, the Hasterun. You gotta be kidding me, Ice Frog.
Oh my god. Plan calculated.
Even Ice Frog loves Pinoy Dota.
So, you know why they couldn't kill the Shaker? You said there was no detection. Venge flashed the dust on the right side, but the dust range
didn't hit him.
It didn't hit them. That was the problem. Pugna was trying to chase him down, but he had BKB, so the life string wasn't doing anything. And for the rest of the fight, that Shaker was such a nuisance. He
The
would
thing
just,
is, he actually ran to the right. He ran into the sentry. They almost killed him while he was under the sentry.
and he forced
And then he
out.
forced to the north. They literally went ring around the rosy, like just, you know, heading all the way up and around, chasing him. Meanwhile, the Dragon Knight lost like 3/4 of his health, just being completely chain stun, maledicted, tanking a full duration death ward practically.
I think the problem for that half of the fight was the fact that Pugna wasn't there. Like, he was chasing a Shaker. He wanted the kill, but honestly, the
He should
Shaker...
be healing the Dragon Knight during that time.
Or just blasting
Yeah.
them. Like, Shaker tanked for a good 5 seconds. Imagine if there was a Pugna there, Decrep blast with Veil. Boy, he at least kills, you know, Roy or something, right? Like, it's... Hellraiser, I don't know how many smokes that they have left. They don't have anybody, any heroes carrying it. So that is going to be a concern. I think Hellraiser needs to start the fight like they have, like trying to blow up somebody in the front, or somebody first. Because I don't... If they don't have the start that they did in these team fights, they're not going to come close to winning.
More Lincoln Spheres. Void is now going to go for one.
Everybody buying tomes. Queen of Pain, very close to the level 25, so she is going to be unkillable, essentially. Void, I imagine he's going to pick up the plus 600 time walk range.
That seems definitely the more popular of the two.
Yeah. And I think the better choice in this game as well, right? Not much.
It's just always useful, right?
Yeah.
It basically means you have a free Blink Dagger that can't be put on cooldown at that point.
Dire Smokes, Radiant has a ward to check it out.
The Dragon Knight's the one they're going to find first, but Kaiser does manage to get off his Dragon form. Will he BKB in time? Does he realize how many heroes are committing? In goes Nando. The swap out, though, by J4 keeps Swift and he alive. Now he can maybe heal him. No, he decrepifies him, puts him under for the moment. The Queen of Pain ult is there. A dagger through the heart of Hellraisers. That's Swift ending now, trying to stand his ground, deal with that Faceless Void, does get up to the Decrepify, but finally it ends, and in goes the bash, in comes the kill, down he will go, and now they can turn their attention to the Dragon Knight. Fight after fight, it's just Execration finding those early key pickoffs, and then almost overrunning Hellraiser's position, but perhaps not this time. Hookshot comes through, it's 3-3 again to the rescue. He was there early, and he's delivering now even later on as the Glimmer Cape from Chemo will end. Scepter, try and stall it out a little bit longer. Now the stun comes through and down Chemo will go. Another triple for 3-3, a 4-3 victory for Hellraiser.
What is happening? You don't expect a Dragon Knight Clockwork to be carrying 45 minutes in the game. Now, granted, I think we're kind of operating under the traditional lenses of these heroes. The talents definitely help, right? You just don't expect a Clockwork to be outputting that much damage, but he does have the plus 40 battery assault damage. He has the longer duration on the battery assault.
I mean, one battery assault when there's no BKBs is dealing, what, like 1,500 damage or something?
Yep, and you have 100% uptime on your battery assault as well. You basically have it running as long as you have mana, and he has enough mana. The surprising thing is that Dragon Knight is able to do this much.
He also does have the egg, so now you have the 10-second hook shots coming out throughout the fight. Sorry, 12 seconds. And constantly can be interrupting and resetting these kids.
He is the disabling machine, the one-man wrecking crew by himself. And now it's Hellraiser into the pit. If you ask me 45 minutes in the game, who scales better, I would have said hands down level 25 Quab. You got the Void that's scaling.
I mean, this Dragon Knight's about to get a Daedalus. I think he is easily the hardest hitter in the game, even if Quap has a little bit more net worth once he completes that. He's going to grab the cages here.
I guess a big part of the Quap is that she has about 10k net worth invested into items that don't help you.
Yeah, Link gets BKB.
Yeah, it doesn't help you when you're getting wrecked. Like, okay, Milan got clipped. I'm not sure whether James was paying attention. Evidently not. Silence the... Oh, he misses the hook.
Could have been huge. That's from the bench coming into position instead. James is going to silence that Earth Spirit. Thinks about to go. Chara going to cluster up now. Marching down mid once more onto the breach. Can they break the base this time? A Dragon Knight Pug the lineup. Still in the game. Still looking for their first lane of frags. At 48 minutes, something you really do not expect to see. By this point, either they've won or the game's over is how most would have predicted. But indeed, they fight on. Kaiser on the high ground. He's going to eat the Maledict. The Range Rack's now there. And meanwhile, the Chronosphere committed is going to catch out that pesky Pugna, but the swap out at the final hour. The Queen of Panel not quite connected on Swift Ending, so he stays alive. They still focus here. Eyes on the prize, but the Rex isn't down. Swift Ending man-moded in, giving him the sucky, but he hasn't finished off the melee, and now he's going to go down. Aegis has been expended. That's 4 dead with the Aegis, likely to be a 5th. I think Dragon Knight didn't even get off the cheese that fight. Indeed, Le Fromage still in his inventory. Might have been deep backpacking it when he fell, so it's 6.
He had it the whole time. He had it the whole time. He wanted to basically get the most value out of it. Raging Potato recognizing says, I'm going to go in with a solo Echo Slam,
they
and
have
killed him.
One buyback, Lumi, aside from this clock. Can Clock and Dragon Knight do it again?
Dragon Knight has to, but the problem is he's going to come back as a pitiful human form. I'm not sure whether he can make the defense. I mean, at this point, you just buyback, right? Doesn't matter if you don't finish the data list.
At this point, Earthshaker is your siege engine with that enchant totem. Constantly dishing out huge chunks of damage to these towers. Gives it another wallop, takes it down. Execration right back in the game. Hellraisers overplaying their hand and getting punished. They saw blood in the water, but Execration, it was only a ruse. A breathe fire to try and slow it down. 2 melee racks have fallen. Well, if anyone hits that one, there you go. And now looking for the Megas, and with that, potentially the game. There are 4 alive, but fighting 4v5. Here, if anybody dies, they won't have the buyback, so they have to be cautious about how they take these fights. The Dragon Knight blinking in, but he will get quickly dealt with. The BKB from Nando. The bashes are coming out. He needs to get off that cheese. The BKB do something, but he can't. He's controlled for ages. They had to tap the shrine to try and keep him alive. Now the BKB comes out for Kaiser. He turns the fight around, but he's not finding kills. Nando resets. Now the bubble and trouble perhaps for Hellraisers. Mountie, they're going to lose the Earth Spirit. Dead for 60. No buyback there either. Kaiser controlled in the shards. Now the snowball coming through. James will blink out. Just kiting the dragon. Focusing on objectives. Nando surges back in. He wants to throw off the tower. He's going to take it down. Tier 3 fallen. Looking for the melee next. James will go unstoppable, and it seems the end is nigh. Hellraisers have been slain and cast back into the abyss from whence they came. It felt like they had clawed their way back into a game they had no business being in, but Execration put a stop.
Well, both teams, right? Execration looked like they were in so much trouble early on. They kind of withstand that. They were able to take down the tier 3 on the bottom, slowly whittling Hellraiser down. And Hellraiser, all of a sudden, it was like clockwork, and Dragon Knight just came online. If there's anything item-wise for Hellraiser, maybe a Vlads would have done them a lot, because that Dragon Knight, especially towards the later half of the fights, he was just right-clicking. His HP slowly drops. If he had any lifesteal items, I think he might have been able to out-sustain Execration, but...
Execration, they had a very rough day 1, starting 1 and 3. They did have to face one of the premier LGD squads, who are still, I believe, undefeated here so far. TI, maybe that's